Hi, my name is LaJoy Sanders, and I am one of the teachers on the 5E lesson plan just popping up. And my portion of the 5E lesson plan was to complete the exploration and the explanation, and I added the elaboration portion. So let's go ahead and get started and look at this particular lesson. In the exploration portion of this lesson plan, the students will think about biotechnology's roles in product development and society by watching a short video clip that highlights groundbreaking technology. And the technology that I looked at was CRISPR because it's very important in gene editing. It will be followed by a short discussion, and then the students will be broken into islands or pods of 3 or 4, where they will investigate and gather information about different areas of biotechnology. The areas of biotechnology that I identified for this particular lesson plan was agricultural, environmental, industrial, medical, and blue biotech. And blue biotech is the same as marine biotechnology. And so if you look at my lesson plan under the exploration, part 1, there are several video options. Each one of these videos is supported by a worksheet, and one of the video worksheet was produced in Magic School AI, where you can take the video, hyperlink. It has to be a YouTube, and you could drop it into the question or the question bar, the search bar, and you can tell it how many questions you want it to produce. In this case, I asked it to produce 7, and it gave me 7 questions related to the video plus the answer key. And so a teacher using this lesson plan, make sure that with any chat or with any AI, you do have to go back and fact check it because it can make mistakes. And so I did spend some time looking over each one of these videos with the worksheet to make sure the bot did not make an error. So that's the first part of this activity, and then the discussion questions. There are 3. What is biotech? How biotechnology impact our lives? And then some partial benefits and risk of biotechnology. And this is just to prime the students to get them thinking about the next part of their task, which is a task that's going to put them into groups where they'll be given chart paper and an assigned biotechnology area for them to research that area as well as find one. If they want to find 2 biotech products that were recreated especially for that particular biotechnology, that's fine. But they're only asked to identify and report on one product from that biotech category. And then, of course, all the information is to be gathered and compiled on a sheet of chart paper. It's okay that there may be more than one biotech group in the classroom because that happens. There's only 5 areas, and some classes are big enough to host at least 2 for each biotech area. I also used an AI tool called eDrawMind to create this particular bio concept map. Okay. And so this is what I created. All I had to do was put in, I did add 2, but all I had to do is put in the biotech areas, and the AI filled in all the information that you see. Students are free to use this, and teachers can use this to add to or take away. This will be a good group discussion at the end, very end, to see how they can enhance what they learned about these different areas. So this was given to them just as a resource. But this is the explore portion. I put a max time here about 30 minutes, and that's a pretty long exploration, but it's fluid. It can change. And then, of course, there's some extension activities that the teacher can consider. For the explanation portion of it, this continues on with the explore. The groups are going to stay together because now they're going to debrief one another and what they learned about their biotech area. A good idea here would be if there's more than one agricultural biotech in the room, maybe have one person from each group or 2 people from each group just visit the other to exchange information of what they found. This should take no more than 5 minutes to do before the teams jump into their jigsaw. Their jigsaw activity is going to require the teacher to reform groups where you have one person from each biotech area in a group, because now they're going to become the experts and the team teachers. They have to share their original group findings. I would encourage students to actually take notes on this concept map. They can print the concept map out I just showed you and write additional notes on it manually, but they do need to take notes and discuss the differences in the perspectives of the 2 biotechs and the differences in how they impact society. One option that I did put in here is for teachers to allow students to do what's called a peer evaluation using a rubric. I'll go ahead and pull this up for you as well so you can see it. Again, it is optional, or it could be something the teacher is walking around and doing it, just spot checking random. So this is the rubric that goes with the jigsaw on biotechnology. As you go around, did the groups use several sources of information? Did they evaluate that source of information? You may also want to consider using this not only with the jigsaw, but you may want to consider using this with the home groups or the biotechnology groups as well. Just some ideas to give some flexibility. It can be edited and to what you want it to do, but it's very important that students get feedback on how well they're researching and using those sources of information, and then how they're communicating that information and how they're analyzing it. And so I did put a rubric in for that piece. What's another part of the explanation, which is very important, is the intellectual properties presentation. I actually asked a generative chat to give me some intro to intellectual property presentations, and this is one that came up that I did like. I would encourage a teacher to actually go through the slide after they download it to make sure they pull off some of the informational slides that have absolutely nothing to do with intellectual property, and normally that's found at the very end on slides 19, 20, 21. But for the most part, I found it a very simple and easy to follow presentation that the students could benefit from. And then, of course, I took the presentation in the Magic School Bus. I asked it to create for me guided notes from the presentation, in which it did that. And so these are the guided notes that were produced. And so from this, I adapted this to student notes, which were fill in the blank, so that students can follow. And so the student guided notes look like this. And this is just my doing. The teacher can change and create their own guided notes if they don't like the ones that I've done. That's fine. But this is what I've done just to ensure that the students are listening and interacting with the information that's being presented to them. And so that was part of the presentation. In the elaborate portion of this, um, what we will do is have the students in their groups. Now, here's key. You can either do this in jigsaw groups, or the teacher can send the students back to their original biotech groups. But you'll have groups develop a detailed proposal for a biotech product. And they have to include with that biotech product an informational packet on the intellectual property, whatever that really creative innovation is that makes that that makes that product unique. That that's what has to be protected. And so they must also prepare a pitch to present their product to their prospective clients, which is going to be their classmates. And so to help the teacher through this and to help the students, I use generative AI. When I put this description in, I took this entire description and put it into my chat GTP and asked for a structured approach and I pasted this statement in, and it gave me this project outline. I'll go ahead and share it. And the project outline is going to help the students to formulate their thought processes on how to get this done. Okay, it's not set in stone, but it's just an outline of what the students need to consider. It also helps the teacher in understanding what the process should look like. There's guided instructions on the product proposal itself. There's guided instructions on the intellectual property itself. Uh, and the things that are here are for the students to consider. They're not things that are necessary to do. These are things that they must consider as they work through their product and as they work through their pitch. There are some guidelines here, just generic guidelines that were given to just reminders for research thoroughly, collaborate effectively, practice your pitch. And then there's also a tidbit on here on how they're going to be graded. There is a rubric attached that's more descriptive. The rubric for their project, which could be shared with them, is designed to allow flexibility. And what I mean by that is I have a rubric for each part or each skill. The skill of product proposal, there's a rubric for that. There's for intellectual property, for how you patent it, there's a rubric for evaluating that. Their pitch and presentation. So there's flexibility. A teacher may want to use all of these to evaluate all different parts, all different skills in the presentation, or they may be selective of just one. There are options here with that in the rubric. And so, again, these rubrics I generated in Magic School Bus. But I was very creative in how I query the bot to give me my feedback. So the thing with AI tools and lesson plans, and you still need to go back and read it because bot talk and people talk is not quite the same. And sometimes you can tell bot talk if you use them enough, it becomes very clear this is bot talk. But you have to go in, and sometimes that AI bot talk is okay. But then there's some times you need to go ahead and clarify what the bot means in layman's terms for your readers. And so this is again, this is my portion of the lesson plan with biotechnology, and they're just popping up. And so hopefully when kids do this, we can see what they can pop up for biotech products. And this concludes my video portion of the lesson. Thank you.